heart of the city, hidden behind crumbling tenements and lifeless alleys, stood an abandoned apartment building. The door to apartment 6B on the top floor was infamous among the few who dared to venture near. Its paint had peeled into jagged patterns, and scratches marred its surface, as though something inside had clawed desperately to escape. Mara, a college student with a fascination for the supernatural, decided to investigate. The stories were tantalizing. Whispers coming from the locked apartment, faint cries for help, and a lingering chill that clawed at anyone who stood too close. Armed with a flashlight and a recorder, she ignored the warnings from the old landlord, who refused to step foot beyond the first floor. The building was silent, save for the groaning of its ancient walls. As Mara reached the 6th floor, an unnatural cold seeped into her bones. The air smelled faintly of decay. The door to 6B loomed before her, larger than it had any right to be. She pressed her ear against the door. At first, there was only silence, but then, so soft it was almost imperceptible, came a whisper. "Help me." Mara's breath hitched. "Who's in there?" she called. The whisper returned, clearer this time. "Help me. Please. Let me out." Her hand trembled as she reached for the knob. It was ice cold, but, surprisingly, unlocked. The door creaked open, revealing a pitch-black room that swallowed her flashlight's beam. She stepped inside, the floorboards groaning beneath her weight. The door slammed shut behind her. She spun around, but the knob wouldn't budge. "Mara!" The whisper came again, now directly behind her. She turned, her flashlight catching a figure. A woman, gaunt and pale, with hollow eyes that seemed to glow. Before Mara could scream, the figure lunged, its icy hands clamping around her throat. The next day, the landlord noticed the door to 6B was ajar, something that hadn't happened in decades. He hesitated, but peeked inside. The apartment was empty, except for Mara's flashlight lying on the floor. From that day on, the whispers grew louder, and now they sometimes called a new name: Mara.